traffic as I was today. Traffic is really bad, so we're going to move on, and people will continue to join. Is Pastor McNary on the line? I don't see him. Donald, you want to lead us in prayer before we get started?
I think he stepped away because he gave me control. I'll pray about it.
Okay.
Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you for this time of fellowship, Lord. We thank you for the community to come together and to explore ways to make our day-to-day life better. We thank you for those servants, public servants that we have that strive to make our city better. Lord, we ask for a calm meeting. That's an insightful meeting, that people will be open and honest and walk away with the intent that they had when they joined. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Harvey. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the August virtual Sandtown Community Association meeting. Glad that you all were able to join us. We're going to move right on into the agenda. Do we have representatives from fire and police?
Yes, ma'am. Fire.
Oh, we'll go right ahead. Tim, is Tim Roner?
Yes, ma'am. You said it right.
Oh,
Hi.
wonderful.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. Let me see if I can get my video on here. I'm sorry, I haven't due for my phone this evening. Hey, my name is Tim Roner. I'm the district commander for the A shift for the fire department. And I just wanted to thank all of you for having me this evening, and just wanted to talk about some stuff that the fire department's got going on. Wanted to talk about some heat related safety. It's very important right now. We're having these heat waves of greater than 90 degrees. So just wanted to remind everybody to stay hydrated, try to stay indoors, stay cool on your AC systems. Make sure that your filters are changed. That'll get that air flowing better. Also, along with staying very hydrated, start to know the signs of heat related stress. You start to get cramps, immediately stop, drink some water, sports drinks, take a break. Don't do anything until the cramps stop. If you start cramping for an extended period of time, seek medical attention. Also, too, just letting you know some of the stuff that we have going on in the fire department. We just got a new fire safety house. We're proud to have gotten that. We're doing a lot of training this coming up month. We have a lot of people going to EMT school, so we're getting a lot of people medically certified, and we have some technical rescue stuff going on. So we've got a lot of stuff going on in the department today. And we also, too, we've added another piece of equipment. It's called a mini pumper. And so that will be at Station 3 over off Butner Road near Stonewall Tail. And that piece of equipment will help utilize getting into restricted spaces. It's kind of like a mini fire truck. It has hose on it. It has a water pump, and certain places that we can't take that full-size fire truck, we're able to take that mini pumper. And we'll also be using it for special events as well. I'll open the floor if anybody has any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? It doesn't look like they do. Well, thank you so much. Oh, go right ahead.
What is fire station that's closest to us here in Sandtown Center?
Your station will be over on Plummer Road. It'll be station number 4. Are you familiar with that? Right, no. Over close near the new Publix. Behind the new Publix. Yeah, if you just go behind Publix right there at Riverside and Plummer Road, they'll be down on the right, like going back towards Fulton Industrial.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for joining us today and for that information. Is there anyone from the police?
Yes, Corporal Fears, South Fulton Police Department. How are you?
How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So my reasoning for joining the meeting is to answer any questions anyone may have and to present the statistics of District 1 upon request if you all would like me to.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, so I have the breakdown for District 1 year to date. I will say we're below uh, last year's year to date, which was 364 uh, crimes in total. We're currently at 323, so not too bad. Most of those are larceny related, that being vehicle break-ins, shopliftings at the stores, things of such. Now we do have some motor vehicle thefts and some burglaries, but relatively low number compared to 2022. And let's see here. I have specific locations and specific Part One crimes. If you all would like to know that in reference to District One, more so it's Fulton Industrial. I have Fulton Industrial, and I have the Cascade Corridor being those targeted areas of larceny. So it is isolated within those areas. I don't see on the breakdown here where it's that much spread out, and generally that's coming from the shopliftings at the Walmart. So that's where most of the larceny statistics are coming from. There hasn't really been many motor vehicle thefts. However, we did have some last quarter. Now,
That's concerning to have a lot of larceny at a store or
yeah,
Walmart.
yeah.
Um,
Based off the
um,
breakdown, yeah, based off the breakdown here, the Walmart 1105 Research Center, Atlanta Drive, is where most of the larceny is coming from, and then that's more so shoplifting.
so
Where
what are you all doing about it? Because you all know they're over in DeKalb County, over by the mall,
mm-hmm,
Stonecrest Mall. They used to have a Sam's Club. I think it's Sam's, and they closed that club. They closed Sam's because of that very thing. It was too much theft.
really,
And so when you have a lot of larceny and theft at stores in your neighborhood, that can lead the retailers to close up shop. And we certainly don't want that to happen
absolutely.
over there off of Cascade. So is there any measures the police department is putting in place to try to prevent that or get that number down?
Absolutely, that's a very good question. So what we implemented was off-duty job there, where we would have a select group of officers who would work separately from the department. They'll be privately contracted to Walmart for
Mm-hmm.
apprehension of shoplifters, and
Mm-hmm.
that's been working out pretty well. But of course, on those off days where there's no coverage at Walmart, we do still run into the issue of the shoplifting, which is where most of those statistics are coming from. When we're there, we're able to prevent it and we're able to keep it contained. But when we're not there, obviously, we can't do anything about it. And right now, we're staffed okay. but the staffing could be a lot better. And that's one of the issues that we're running into is staffing, officers committing to working up there on their off time, because that's really the only way that we can for sure combat that particular issue, opposed to patrol officers responding to that location for a call for service, because at that point damage is already done. So as an officer is placed up there, it's more of a preventative measure, and in the event that there is an act of larceny, we can kind of intervene prior to it actually becoming larceny and being entered as a statistic. So that's the measures that we've taken, and it works out when an officer is present. But it's just like I say, that off chance where officer is not there, that's where we're taking a hit.
So what days? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who was that?
That was me, Debbie. I'm
Go
sorry
ahead.
because I should have raised my hand. You know, another thing about that store, and I just happened to go in there last Friday. Last Thursday or Friday. It's tight in there. When I walked in, the people were standing in line who wanted to check their own merchandise out. The line was back down to the produce department and the vegetables. I went on the other end, the line was all the way down to the pharmacy. When I tried to get in line, I was sitting up there thinking, what is all of this going on, and why is it so tight in here? It was almost as if there were no wide aisles. And I had to think about it because I went in, I'm always going in the one on Fulton Road. I just happened to go in that one because I was down there at Chick-fil-A. I said, I can't come in here anymore. It's too tight, it's too crowded. Where the end of the aisle stopped with the clothes, that's where people had to stand to get in line for the other registers. And I said, this doesn't make sense. And then I had to think about it. At the other Walmart, you got these wide aisles. And so people can be in line getting groceries, but it never impacts the people who come in walking up and down the aisle and so forth. And then I went over there to Thornton Road the other day, and they said they were reorganizing the store. I said the store they need to reorganize is the one down there on Cascade Road. That was just ridiculous.
I can offer some insight about what's going on there. Right now, their store manager, Damian Roundtree, is on leave of absence. So currently the store does not have a store manager. I've observed the things that you have seen, Marilyn, where half of the self-service registers are out. And unfortunately, the regional director that I know that I would escalate to has been reassigned. So I haven't found out the other one. But what I will say is, usually when I go up there, I go up there for prescription drugs. Yeah. Usually there's one or two South Fulton police cars on the curb. And Walmart's pretty aggressive about it, and that may be factoring into the stats because they have a lot of cameras. They've got this little door by the front door, and a lot of times a shoplifter's identified, and you'll see their security come running out that door and snatch them. And pretty quickly, if we have off-duty officers there, they arrest them. So I want to say that because they're so aggressive, there's more reporting in the statistics as opposed to other places who don't pick up the phone and call 911. Also, a couple of months ago, I was in the Walgreens on Cascade Road, and as I waited in line, I could see the cashier had this alarmed look on her face as she was looking over my shoulder. And they had a man who had a shopping cart filled with a duffel bag, and he was obviously stealing it. And he walked out nonchalantly, even though he was on camera. I did share that with Chief Meadows, and he sent a detective over there to talk to them. And I've also found out their new regional manager, and we had a long conversation. But there are challenges there. And what we can do is report it when we see it and support our police officers as they pursue that. But historically, Cascade Roads had shoplifting issues long before the city was formed.
Correct. Now, Mr. Harvey, I want to thank you for sharing that because it sounds to me you're pretty abreast to what's going on, and you're absolutely right. There has been turnover at that store, and the manager is on leave of absence. So you're absolutely right about that. And Eddie, which is the regional manager, has been reassigned. So you're pretty abreast of what's going on, and I can appreciate you adding that. But what I also would like to add is the reason that, and this goes back to I forget the last person who was speaking his name, but the reason why stuff is so narrow right now, Walmart is experiencing a much higher inventory than usual due to the Walmart over on MLK and Howell Mill being closed.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
those residents who would generally shop at that Walmart in those areas have now migrated over to the Cascade corridor,
Cascade. Gotcha.
which is why it's creating so much clutter and so much more larceny, because the shoplifters that were once in that area have now migrated over to the Cascade area, and
Okay.
it has substantially increased. And to Mr. Davis's point, with that increase has come more arrest, and we are really aggressive when it comes to the shoplifters because we like to make examples. So anytime that an arrestable offense is happens, we take those actions. So hopefully that pretty much gives you an idea of why things are the way that they are now as it relates to the larceny, because that's really the gist of most of the crime in District 1, which is that larceny. And I can give
have a
you
question.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you think that the increase in shoplifting is due to the fact that they have so many of these self-checkout registers
Absolutely.
and people just put stuff in there? Go ahead.
Absolutely. That is the number one reason for shoplifting. That's how we catch most of our shoplifters. It's become almost like shooting fish in the barrel. They've taken out, I believe, 5 or 6 registers that were manned by physical people to replace it with self checkout, which has increased the shrink substantially. I believe it increased by like 60%, 60, 70%. Like it was a really, really high number for that reason, because self checkout, however, it's monitored, it's closely monitored. However, that's where the vast majority of the shoplifting is taking place. Now, obviously, you have those who are, observed selecting and concealing merchandise, but that's less than half of the rest that we make in relates to shoplifting. Most of our shoplifting is self-checkout related because people are not ringing up items, they're placing them directly in the bags, and they're attempting to leave the store with them. So that's where the vast majority of the shoplifting is coming from. So you're absolutely right.
And then my other concern is this: it's kind of like crimes in general. There are certain communities. Okay, how do I want to say this? As a segment of the general population, African Americans are over policed and overcharged and all that stuff. And it's kind of like our community, if the crime is so high, it's oftentimes not because we are creating more, but because we're policed more.
Correct.
And that is a concern that I have, because I'm thinking that maybe some of the stores in other areas, that they might have inventory loss, whatever, shrinkage, however you want to describe it, but
yes,
they just don't get the police involved. They just say, well, do you either make them pay for, or if it's a kid, the parent comes up there, and takes care of it. Yes, now, I'm not saying that I like the fact that we have these high stats, but I'm just saying that I'm wondering, do they really reflect more criminal activity in our community, or is it just that we just do more reporting?
I don't I don't think it's so much the reporting, because my observation is that in our community, a lot of people are reluctant to call 911. And
Mhm.
over the years, and working with Chief Meadows and Captain Hattie Tukes, they consistently encourage us to pick up the phone. But some people think it's too much of a nuisance to do that. And criminals go where they know that they can get away with stuff. I'll agree to disagree that we're over policed, because I'd like to see more officers on the beat rather than less.
Correct.
Well, if you
And
got more of the caliber that we have now, you're just gonna have because we got more, and we don't seem to be any more safe now than we were before. We just got more fatalities and brutality. So I have to disagree
I
with
mean,
you.
I don't know that the statistics support that. Now, I think that that's an opinion rather
Well,
than a
that's an
fact.
opinion, but that all statistics, then you have to question all statistics, everything. I mean, I don't go out and do a survey, but I do
okay,
know that. And maybe if something like that hits your family or somebody that's close to you, that hasn't hit me now. But I'm just saying, maybe you have a different picture. I just look at the bigger picture, and I just know that this is a problem.
okay. Well, I have the statistic breakdown here as it relates to those part one crimes that you speak of, and I can give you an exact number. So between the rape, murder, robbery, there has been 11 robberies year to date. That's from January 1 to August 3. It's only been 11. There's only been 2 reported rapes, and there's only been 1 murder, and that's within District 1. So back to, your concern
What
of
about
the
District 2?
report.
Because I live in District 2. So
Okay, the
how about
District.
that?
So in District 2, there has been 0 rapes, 1 murder, and 2 robberies. So District 2 is in much better shape as it relates to those 3 part 1 crimes. So your concern is a little less than what District 2's it probably is. And that's these are year to date. These are year to date numbers.
Do you happen to know where the murder, what area that the murder occurred in? Was it like what is it, domestic situation, or is it stranger to stranger?
More the breakdown of the area isn't on this particular spreadsheet. Um, but I can research the area in which the murder occurred within District 2.
I can tell you it was a domestic situation. That was the one with the two men.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
That was the one. And that just recently happened.
Correct. There was a domestic dispute between 2 males and a female who they were all in a quarrel with one another, and the 2 males engaged in a verbal dispute which ended in bloodshed between the
Okay.
2
Thank you.
regarding that female. Yes, ma'am. That was the only murder from year to date.
Wow. Well, are there any other questions for Corporal Fears? Well, this has been a good discussion, and
I have a question.
go right
Sure.
ahead.
Okay, I'm in Sandtown Center, the Glens area. My question is, how can I phrase this? If we see someone in a parked car and the car is running and they're just sitting there for hours and hours, what would
Yes, ma'am.
be your protocol first? Should we maybe
911.
text the person,
No.
Is
hey, are you
is that
lost? Or you need
is
something?
that
Or
during when you observe this vehicle? Is that during the evening hours?
well, it was during the day, and actually, my husband did approach the car, and because the windows were so dark, it was here for like 6 hours in front of our house, kind of like in front of our house. And my daughter first noticed it. So when we saw how dark the windows was, she said it's either police or undercover or something like that. So my husband came home. He did. I told him what was going on, and he went to the car and he rolled down his window and showed his badge, and he
Okay.
wasn't cover, cop. And my husband was like, look, I'm, part of neighborhood watch, and I know you've been here for like 6 hours. We were just wondering, you know.
Right. And that's the next thing I was going to allude to. A lot of times we do surveillance in some of these areas, and we don't necessarily do a good job with notifying the community that we're going to do it, and that's really, you know, for security reasons. It's not like we're trying to not tell you what's going on, but we're trying to
Right.
take the precautions as it relates to the case that we're working on, and
Right.
we want to, you know, share information prior to us, you know, investigating what's going on. So anytime that happens, he did right. Um,
By approaching the
he
car, you know, I was told him, I
yeah
said, put your phone away because I don't want him to think that you're coming to us to the
yeah
car. You know, but didn't know kind of how.
generally
Mhm.
even with suspicious vehicles, people tend not to take offense to someone approaching a vehicle, especially if they're in a secluded residential area. I mean, they would do anyone would do that. So a lot of times people don't take offense, even if it wasn't an undercover officer, even if it
Okay.
was just a general citizen. Hey, you know, I'm such and such. I was just wondering, you know, are you broken down? Like, you having car trouble? So forth and so on, just to kind of break the ice, just to
Right.
see what their business is in the area. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's a great way to kind of do a self investigation prior to
I come
notifying
across
our
anything, you know, he's just like, hey, are you okay? You know, then when he rolled the window
right,
down, I saw him flash that badge. I was like,
right,
okay.
right.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you all so much, and thank you, Corporal Fears, for the information and joining the meeting. And
Yes, ma'am.
all righty. Well, we're gonna
I will
change the agenda. Go ahead. Go ahead.
just for informational purposes, what I will do is I will put my number in the chat for everyone. In the event that you have any more questions or concerns offline, that way you can reach me directly.
All right. We
Oh,
appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
We're gonna change
you guys
the
enjoy the rest of
agenda.
your.
Okay, you too. We're gonna change the agenda a little bit. Mr. Turner, if you're on the call, we'll let you go up next, and after that, we will. Delphine is on the line from Flavored Fitness, and we will have her come in after Mr. Turner is done. Okay. All righty. So, Mr. Turner, are you on the call?
I am. Can everybody hear me? Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well. First of all, let me thank you for allowing me and my team on the call. For some reason, I'm not seeing myself, but as long as everybody can hear me, is that accurate? Can everybody hear me?
We can see you
Yes, we
too.
can hear
You can
you
see me
and
too?
see
Okay,
you.
maybe I just can't see myself. I need to be able to see myself. That's the problem. But
Well, you look good, so you're all right.
you know what? You and my wife are the only two people that say that. So I guess I'm doing okay, right? So listen, first of all, I want to thank you all for allowing us to be on. I also have two other members on my team on the call as well. I have my deputy director, Tony Jordan, is here, as well as Patrick Swanson, who's actually been a pillar in the Sandtown community for a number of years. Patrick was recently promoted to a program manager. He's no longer the facility supervisor at Sandtown, but he has all the institutional knowledge in terms of the kids. He know all the kids. Of course, he works with Dr. Rowell a lot, so he has all the institutional knowledge. So what I want to do first, Patrick, are you on the line? Are you here?
Yes, Mr. Turner, I'm here.
Okay, what I want to do first before I get started, because I can really talk. So what I want to do first is allow him to articulate. You know, we're currently in a renovation phase of Sandtown, and it's been closed for quite some time. So I want to start off by allowing him to articulate when the facility opens, how the curriculum and how the programming option would be. So I'm gonna get the floor to Patrick, and then I'll kind of jump in after that, if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, greetings. Let me see if I can turn my camera on. I'm sorry. Hey, how's everybody doing? Can y'all see and hear me very well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, awesome. I don't know, Mr. Turner, are you able to kind of navigate the slideshow Is Tony Jordan on the line? Ms. Davis, I also emailed it to you. I do apologize. I don't know how to navigate the slideshow and
Hold on, let
and
me
at the
see.
same
You sent
time.
it to me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
I see it. I just
Oh.
found it. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me open it. All right. Give me 1 second. Where did it go? Okay. Well, let me see where you all are. I'm trying to find. Yeah, let me share my screen here. Y'all, I got a new computer, so I'm a little. Huh.
You should be able to share it. I've got sharing turned on.
I know, and I'm trying to. I got 2 screens here, and I'm trying to figure out.
Or you could forward it to me.
Okay, let me do that.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for helping. I do apologize.
Let me know when you've sent it. Which email you sent it to.
Well, while they're figuring it out, I can kind of talk about the facilities a little bit. It's actually going great. I think they're probably about 85 to 90% finished. I love it because when Dr. Rao and the team, Ternard and I and Miss Martha did a walkthrough, one of the things that Dr. Rao and Ternard stressed is that they wanted it to feel like Sandtown once you enter the facility. And as you know, previously, it was, I guess, I think it was like a bland brownish kind of colorish, but now it has been color coded to match the Sandtown colors. So it's actually gray and it's actually purple, which looks fantastic. The floors have been redone. It looks well, and I don't know if you have rolled by the facility, but they've even painted the outside. I think it's like an off-white. It looks fantastic. I think they're gonna start on the playground either this week or next week. Am I right, Mr. Turner?
Yes, sir. They should be starting next week, and that's when he say starting on the playground. We had to completely. It's a complete rebuild. The structure around the playground, the wood area. We're gonna redo that whole area because it was rotted out and things of that nature. So we're gonna be doing that hopefully next week, well, within the next 2 weeks. Yes, sir.
All right. And so once that gets finished, now they have sandblasted the ceiling of the gym and they repainted it. That's off white, and also they painted the gym. It is purple and gray as well. And I think they started on the floor this week. So like I say, it looks it looks brand new. And we're going to have a big grand opening, a big grand reopening once that date becomes available. And Ternard has something big. I don't want to share it right now, but it's something big and something special and the community is just really just, gonna love it. And if I can actually just go to the email and then I can pull it up. And if you're not able to present the slideshow.
I should have it in a second.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I should have it up in a second.
Okay, cool.
Coach Pat, this is Councilwoman Brown. Does it have some of the pictures? I know we don't want to show it all, but does it have any pictures?
No, I didn't put those in there. I did put them on my page, as you know. I kind of got fussed out a little bit, so I'm sorry. I didn't.
That's okay. It does look great though.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, Pat, what I'll do is, if you all don't mind, I'll just go ahead on, and you can kind of do the programming on the back end if you don't mind. Well, never mind. I'll allow you to. I think he.
Okay,
Do y'all
go.
see it now?
Yes, ma'am. We see it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was able to get it up. I apologize. I kicked myself out, but I got it for you.
I appreciate it. Can you go to the first page?
Yep. Let's get it all over. Here we go.
There we go. Okay, so this is the 2023 and 24. So it's actually going to be the fall and winter programs. Now, like I say, a lot of these programs, we are restarting again this season. Some of them are kind of germane across the board, but they are some great programs. Yeah, go ahead and bring it up. A lot of them are, definitely existing programs, like our after school program. A. Philip Randolph is our school cluster. So we go next door, pick the kids up, bring them up. And as you see, we have a whole list of activities, homework assistance, arts and craft, reading club, rec activities, chess club, fitness, STEAM. And, it's a great program. I can be proud to say that over the years, I know for over the past 9 years, we've had 100% straight A students and 100% honor roll students that came out of that one particular after school program. The parents love it. We fill up pretty fast. Once we get a reopening date, we're gonna actually call the parents back and let them know when we are going to reopen. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have any kids or any grandkids or neighbors with kids that's over at Randolph, please let them know. So within the month or so, we're going to be posting that on our social media pages, as well as the City of South Fulton page, the Parks and Recreations program page.
So if you don't mind, Pat, I'm gonna say this. I know I'm being recorded, but that's okay. I think that it's my opinion that Sandtown Park by far has the best after school program in the City of South Fulton. I don't really think it's close. My job is to get the other centers up to par, and he says that even on the academic level, those kids are excelling a lot more than the kids in the other programs, in the other after school programs. So my job is to kind of mirror what Pat is doing, so we can kind of sprinkle that success at the other facilities. But I've always been impressed with their after school program. He's by far has the best. So I've challenged my staff to make sure they mirror exactly what they're kind of doing at Sandtown in terms of their after school program.
I appreciate that, Mr. Turner. You can scroll up, Miss Debbie. Thank you so much. You're doing an awesome job. You're doing an awesome job. So these are our youth and adult programs. Like I say, some of them are existing, some of them will be implemented and upcoming. Like for instance, youth basketball, football, baseball, you can see all of the sports, cheerleading, track and field. Now we were very excited. Christian Coleman, who actually came out of our program, he was he's the fastest runner in the world right now, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he broke every record that he could possibly break. But he did. He's going to come back and he's going to help as along with Coach Anthony Thomas. They did a great job as well. So you know, we got a great after school program. The thing went away, Miss Debbie.
Okay, hold on, my computer, let me try it again.
That's okay.
There you go.
You see it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna have this is Mr. Turner's great idea. We're gonna have a 40 and up basketball league. We're gonna have adult kickball. I don't know if you know Nick Miles, but he has a great Sandtown kickball program for youth and adults. This one is very exciting. The DSSD step team. This young lady is a sisterhood step team that's getting nationally known. They've been on Good Morning America. They're on the news, and they are very excited about coming to the city of South Fulton, preferably Sandtown. So Sandtown is going to serve as the pilot for this particular program, and she does a phenomenal job. And I mean, the whole team is like excited. They going nuts over it. So we're going to have gymnastics, and of course Master Emerson is going to come back and do martial arts. We have Miss Delphine, who's actually on the call, so we've been speaking with her about the fitness program as well. So these are just some of the programs that we have. You know, like I say, a lot of them are existing. Some of them are going to be implemented. Everything is already in place. So as soon as we open up, again, go to our website, the city of South Fulton. We're going to post them on our social media platforms, and then just start to register. This program, the team program, we started this back in 2008. Coach Terrence Abrams and I, Sandtown Middle School and Westlake High School all feed into Sandtown. And so it started by some of the young men coming over from Sandtown, just coming over after school. They were waiting on their parents to come and pick them up. They was like standing outside. So Coach Abe and I, we actually approached them and was like, look, you guys don't have to stand outside. Come on in. So we made them feel at home, and, you know, as you say, great minds think alike, and we just turned it into a team program. It went from like 3 or 4 people, it jumped up to almost 40. So, and we just continued that tradition all the way until we closed prior to the pandemic. They just come next door. And when they come next door, you know, we offer these things that we're doing with them. We do, you know, especially the bullying. We're very, very, very passionate about that. You know, bullying goes on in these schools, man. And, you know, we just want these kids to feel safe and feel that, you know, they mean something, you know. And we also have drama and filmmaking, you know, vision boards that we make, money management. You know, a lot of them, when they walk to the store, if their parents give them $20, they're going to spend every buffalo nickel. So we try to teach them. So we try to teach them about money management. We go on field trips and everything. So this is a great program, and we're very passionate and proud of it.
Good.
All right, next slide, Ms. Deb.
Okay. Oh.
All right.
There
This
you
is
go.
our yes, ma'am. This is our senior services classes. So we do you know, yoga, fitness. We have game days, which is, you know, whatever game days that go from spades to pinochle to bid whist. Things like that. We also have a good soul line dance class. We have technology training. As you know, most people, kind of like myself, don't really know how to navigate thoroughly through a cell phone or a laptop. So we have instructors that actually teach very, very, very simple, you know, techniques on how to navigate through your phones and things like that. So I just found out the other day what a QR code was. I've been seeing it, but they taught me, and I was going to my son's football game, and it was like, put your phone up to the QR code. I'm like, what are you talking about? So that's something. And the coffee chat room is great. I see that Dr. Ryle is on. So what'll happen is once a month, we're going to have some coffee, tea, you know, things of that nature. We're just going to sit around and just talk about, you know, whatever you want to talk about that's going on in the community. What you would like to see in the community, what needs to be done in the community, any ideas, anything. So we're gonna have Dr. Rao, we're gonna have Chief Meadows and his crew, Lieutenant Nick and the park ranger units, fire. So they'll be over and we're just gonna chat once a month in that room. I think that's the end of the slideshow, but one other thing I want to add, this is great for you, Ms. Davis. We also have a great special events. I'm sorry. So the special events will include, now we did the Easter extravaganza this past fall, and it was a huge success. We love it. So we're going to have some screen on the greens. Mr. Turner and I talked about that. It might have been yesterday. So we're going to do some screen on the greens, and also Mr. Turner's, this is his idea, the Christmas with Santa. We're going to have Santa to come into the rec center, and we're going to have a huge tree and a lot of decorations, and the kids come in and they take a picture with Santa. You know how it was back in the day. You went to Macy's or the West End Mall and there was Santa in there, and we just, sat with Santa and we just took pictures. So we bringing that old school flavor right back. We're going to do a jazz in the park prior to winter. So this fall, and we also going to have Sandtown Day that's in the spring. And basically what it is the entire community, all the families, they come to the park, they bring their tents, things like that. We're going to have live music. We're going to have food trucks, food vendors, and all types of things like that. And we're just going to have just a wonderful day. Just to celebrate the Sandtown community. And that gives a lot of people to kind of see some of the past residents that, have moved away, and, they get a chance to come back and, and kind of like reunite and things like that. So it's a wonderful event. And then again, like I said, we have a huge multi-purpose room that we use for different things like birthday parties and family reunions and of course the HOA meeting. So we have that room. All you have to do is just reserve, and we'll have it. If it's available, we'll make it happen. So that's it with all of the program. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I see several people got their hand raised, so I'm just going to open the floor up for questions for them, and you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hey,
Let me stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, yes, I had a question.
Yes.
There have been some concerns that have been expressed about the condition of the baseball fields at Sandtown. And you talk about that as far as the grass and landscaping?
Yes. Mr. Turner, you want to expound on that?
Sure. So there have been a number of concerns of, we have a Parks Advisory Board that we try to meet once a month, and we've talked about a number of those cosmetic things that we can do a better job as it relates to the ground and maintenance. And those are areas that we're gonna try to get to. I have something called it's called a basically preventive maintenance plan in terms of how the field should look. It's just a standard operating plan in terms of how things should look. So we'll be implementing that within the next 2 weeks, observation standards. So we're getting to those areas. Those are low-hanging fruits. Unfortunately, our staff, we don't have the resources in terms of staff like we should. So those guys are constantly doing the cosmetic things like cutting the grass, trying to make sure that things are shaped up. But those are the kind of things I need to hear. I have a director's forum that I like people to sign up to, but those are the things we need to hear, because it may be things in the park that we don't see because we have 17 parks. So we're trying to tackle all of these parks and working with vendors as well. So if there are things, I know the football commissioner, Mr. Kelly, has done a great job talking to us about some things that we need to do better in the park, but we're going to get to all of those things. I assure you that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Brown, I see your hand up.
Hello. I had a question regarding, you mentioned the gaming for the teen group. Would that possibly expand into like a esports team or league?
So,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So let me address that. I'm glad you said that, because that was part of my plan in FY24. You know, sometimes you have to spoon feed. You can't implement everything. So the gaming industry is huge. So that's a part of my workforce development plan. Of course, I don't know if you're all familiar with, we've been doing a lot of things around youth ages 17 through 28. It's our diversion initiatives. So the esports thing, that was something that we're gonna bring to the city. We're actually gonna partner with Georgia Tech to do that. The city of Atlanta is currently doing it, but we're gonna have that at all 3 locations, and we're gonna have gaming tournaments, and we're gonna have individuals that come in and talk to kids. Not only about, it's not really about playing the games, it's about coding and how the games were created. So this is what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is say, you know, everybody can't go to college. Everybody can't afford to go to college. Everybody don't have the grades to go to college. But if I can take a young man, a young woman who loves to play video games and entice them to learn how the game's made, how they actually made, because it's somebody behind the scenes that's making that basketball or football game. All of that is workforce development. All that is trade and skill. So we have to meet the community and the kids where they are. So what we're trying to do is encompass a lot of these trades: electrical engineer, coding, gaming, things of that nature. So we're going to partner with Georgia Tech to implement some things like that. So look for that over the next, I would say 8 or 9 months. We'll have gaming tournaments and we'll bring people in, but we'll have a class on how are these games made. So we're definitely going to do that. Yes, ma'am.
Another thing I think is important to point out is how the sports teams work and how organizations apply to the city for approval to actually conduct the sports. It's been a while since my son played t-ball over at Sandtown Park, but those are external programs that work in partnership with the city.
Can I
Yes,
ask?
sir. Yes, sir.
Can I ask 2 more questions?
Go right ahead.
And with the basketball program that's coming along, that's going to definitely happen this fall, so I don't have to look for another park to do basketball at?
Yes, ma'am. Our youth basketball league, yes, ma'am, it's coming back. I know people are excited to get that back started, because I think they've been going to either Sandtown, Burdett, or Cobb or Douglas County. So yes, ma'am, our youth basketball program, we'll definitely be starting that back up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does Trammell Crow Park fall under your jurisdiction, or is that Park Rangers?
It's under my jurisdiction. We just actually had a pre-bid meet. You know, we're redoing the courts at Trail McCrow. So we're redoing the courts. We just actually had a pre-bid meeting today. So just let you know, those courts may be inoperable for a while, based on, you know, us working on them. But so we're gonna go ahead on and move forward to get those done. You know, there was a drainage issue that wasn't addressed, and that predates me, of course. But one of the things we want to do a better job as a city with preventive maintenance, and also just scope of work, just making sure before we start on a project, we have the right assessment done before we start, so we can make sure we're doing it right the first time and we're not wasting taxpayers' money, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Yes,
The reason why I asked is because we've noticed, I'm a frequent walker out there, and we've noticed over the last couple of weeks, like the gate has not been open until past 9 o'clock. So we were wondering if that was just a 1-week thing, or is something going on where we should just expect the gate not to be open on time, because what we're doing is parking in front of the gate and down Cascade Road.
So I'm glad you said that as well. I actually just had a conversation with Lieutenant Williams on yesterday. The reason why, and again, this predates me, I did it at the park, my previous job, I did the same thing. The reason why they were closing the gates was because of COVID. And that was to restrict people from kind of using the parks at that particular time. But what I've told the park rangers is just kind of open them up now. So I'm gonna remind them they should just stay open now. If you see a park closed for any reason going forward after the day, it may be because there's some unruly behavior that's happening that requires them to marginalize the time that you have in the park. But I just instructed the park rangers and my crew to keep them open. So you shouldn't have that problem anymore. I'm gonna send a email out now that I'm thinking about it. I'm glad you brought that to my attention. So Ms. Brown, I'll send an additional email out, Ms. Davis, to just let the park rangers know and my crew know that we're gonna keep the gates open. And like I said, if you see them closed, it's probably because something has happened in that park from a public safety standpoint, and Lieutenant Williams and their crew decide we probably want to be able to control the flow of traffic a little bit better.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm sorry for interrupting. This
Hold on, Ivory. Miss Karen Stiggers had her hand up, and then you can go after her.
Okay.
Karen? Okay, Ivory, she must have done it unintentionally. Go ahead.
Yes,
No, I'm sorry.
I want to piggyback off of the Trumbull Park, Crows Park gate being closed over there. Did you say that you closed it, that the gate was being closed because of code?
No. I was saying, and I think Corporal, I think he has more institutional knowledge than I do. I think he was gonna chime in on that. Am I right?
Yeah, yes,
Who's
sir.
doing COVID?
Okay.
COVID, not code.
No, I said COVID. Yes, ma'am. COVID. And it just
COVID.
yes.
Okay. I
But
thought it was code.
but Corporal,
I was
he could
concerned about if you unlocked it and and something happened. We are a very litigious society, and someone would say, well, if it hadn't been unlocked, I wouldn't have gone in there, so I'm suing you for $1 million. But I thought you said code. But
no, ma'am. It was related to COVID, and
I got you
never,
now.
yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
But Corporal, I think he wanted to add a little bit to that.
Yes, sir, Mr. Turner. So the gates were being closed initially due to COVID, and we did receive specific instructions from you to no longer close those parks in the evening. So they will remain open after today. So that you shouldn't run into those issues anymore.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Corporal.
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Miss Stiggers. I couldn't find where my mute button.
That's okay. Go right ahead.
I don't know what I hit, honey. I need to take the technology class as well. But yeah, my question was related back to that. I did a snapshot of all the programs that are going to be offered or new programs, and I think that is awesome. And he did touch on the financial part. That's my love. That's my background, and that's what I do is teach financial literacy from as young as middle school on up. So I just wanted to know who would I need to contact or talk to if you need my services, or are you contracted with a certain company already? But that is something that's my passion. Adults is of course, but definitely like to reach the youth so they can kind of get the right path.
Patrick, can you put your
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I was getting ready to put my email address into the chat room. So just email me anytime and I will definitely respond in a very, very, very timely manner.
I appreciate it.
All righty. Any other questions you have, Ms. Tiggers?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Marilyn, you had your hand up.
Yes, I need to know if you've got a child at Randolph, how much is it to go to the after-school program next door?
I'm so glad that you asked that question. Like Mr. Turner said, we have Sandtown and the city of South Fulton have the best after-school program in the state of Georgia. We also have the best prices. It's only $40
Wait a
a
minute,
week.
wait a minute. I didn't say in the state. I said in the city. I said in the city of
Yeah.
South. Wait a minute now. This is being recorded. Now go ahead, Pat. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
Now, so yeah, it's only $40 per week per child. We do have a multi-child discount. So yeah, we do have a multi-child discount. So it's only $40. So you get all of that for just $40.
Okay. Does that include the preschoolers also? Pre-K?
Long as they attend Randolph, yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all. And I want to add, Dr. Rao is very instrumental in making sure that you know, Sandtown is giving the community everything that it needs, and we're definitely in support of her. And you know, Mr. Ternard does a great job. You know, this is his second go round. He was here one time before, and a lot of the things that we're doing now, he wanted to do it way back then. And he always said that if he came back, be ready, because we were going to start doing those things. And let me tell you, he is a man of his word, and all of his visions and everything are coming into fruition as we speak. So I'm so excited on Sandtown reopening, man. I mean, y'all don't know how excited I am, and I know the community is definitely going to be so pleased. And Miss Debbie, we can't wait to get those HOA meetings back in there, like how we used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I was just listening to you talk about, I think you called it movies on the green or whatever, but you know, we used to have movies in the park. The association used to do those when my child was when I first joined the association back in 2000, and Lauren was a little girl, and she's 30 now, but I used to take her to the movies in the park, and it was well attended. I mean, it was a great family outing, so it is good to see that coming back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it so much.
So
Absolutely.
Miss Do, I'm sorry, are we over time, or do I get a chance to
You
say a
can
few
go
more
right
things?
ahead. We're
Okay.
at 7:32.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Go ahead. We end at 8 o'clock. I got a
Okay.
couple of more people on the agenda, but you go
Sure.
right ahead.
So, Miss Davis, you just tell me to shut up when it's time for me to go. Okay, you just tell me to be quiet. But I want to talk a little bit about accountability, because this is important to me. I want you all to hold me accountable. If I'm doing something wrong, or it's something that you see that needs to be done, it's very important that you contact me directly, or you talk to Mr. Swanson or anybody on my team. Because the thing is, I want to ensure that it's all about quality of life, right? When I came back, the first thing I said is my job is to enhance the quality of life for the citizens and the residents of the city of South Fulton. And I live in South Fulton. So I have a personal investment in terms of how this works. I take pride in what I do, but I do want you all to hold me and my team accountable. If you see something, say something. Send me an email, a one-on-one, talk to Mr. Swanson, talk to anybody on my team. Just give us a call, because it may be things, or it may be ideas or things you may want to see. I'm ecstatic about Sandtown opening, because I felt like that facility has been closed down for quite some time. And one of the things I said is that when we come back into that facility, I want it to be absolutely right. I don't want to do anything I want to make sure when we open up those doors, the Sandtown community is like, wow. I want to brand it. I want when you come into the doors, it's bright. I want the city of South Fulton logos on the door. I want it to be something that you're proud of, because we have not been in that community for quite some time. So I want to open with a bang, but I want the programs to have quality. I want the customer service to be quality. And like I said, I know Mr. Swanson has moved up now, but he's going to make sure he's invested in that community. So he's going to ensure that things are working out. We're going to have new leadership in terms of a senior supervisor in that facility. But I want to make sure We talked about those events like movie nights. You know, we can have them inside the gym. We can have them out. I want to get the community back engaged. It's been closed down for 2 years. That center looks absolutely amazing. And one of the things we want to do is take care of the center. We want to make sure these are taxpayers' money. So preventive maintenance plan, making sure we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's, making sure that this doesn't happen again, if that makes any sense. I tell my crew, we're spending taxpayers' money. So we just want to ensure that we take care of our assets and our investments. So if you see anything being neglected, we're putting hundreds of millions of dollars in these facilities. And I just want to make sure, whether it's pressure washing the building, whether it's painting, I just want to make sure we maintain it, because that building looks absolutely amazing. And those kids and those families are going to enjoy that building, Sandtown, the new Sandtown, for years to come. But in terms of accountability, I just want to make sure we're held accountable for everything as it relates to, that's not just this district, any district, anything that you see, any ideas or suggestions that you have, give me a phone call, give Mr. Jordan or you may want to inform Dr. Rao and she can contact me directly. But I want you all to hold us accountable as well. I'm excited about that center opening. I have a lot of big ideas in terms of we're going to party like it's 1999 when it opens. And we're just going to enjoy ourselves and enjoy that center. So that's all that I have. I'm going to keep it short. So I apologize for that. Thank you.
I just wanted to say one thing real quick. It's important for the people to understand the condition of that gym when it was turned over from Fulton County. And there's been extensive work just to make it habitable. And it's incredible, just the big picture things that they've added. We had mold remediation issues, which meant that children couldn't occupy the facility until that was fixed. And believe it or not, our basketball court didn't have air conditioning. So there are a lot of things that you would think had been in place when it was sold to us by the county. But I just wanted to point that out to give people perspective of all that Ternard's team has done in conjunction with Antonio in Public Works.
I have a question, Deborah. How much can they give us an estimate or an actual figure of how much the cost of all the renovations for that facility?
Well, you know what? Right now, we're in the midst of still renovating. So right now, we don't have an actual dollar amount.
Okay, well, how much has been allocated for it then?
Dr. Rowell, are you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line. I would say we're probably at between the roof and everything. I want to say maybe about $1.4 million. And I'm just basing it on recent. I know we had 2 big change orders recently.
The reason why I asked the question is having been out here for almost 50 years, I know there's been, some work done, but I'm just wondering, the community has grown so much. I'm just wondering if we have enough, say, meeting rooms and things like that. In other words, if you're just only primarily trying to fix things, has there been or will there ever be any expansion?
I think there's the potential for that. I mean, I think our park master plan is the ultimate vision of where we want to go across our entire park system. But we took the approach, we only have a couple parks that actually have structures. So we had to make sure what we had, we maintained or brought up to code and to date. And so that's the investments you see primarily happening at Sandtown Park, Welcome All, many of which, as we've said a numerous times, have very little, investment. So, we'll need more facilities. We've talked about at the council level, we need more aquatic centers, not just one in the middle of the city at Welcome All. So we've entertained all of that, but our focus now is just, let's try to get as many of these facilities up to par as possible. As Mr. Davis and everybody has spoken, you know, the gym didn't have air. We had to put a new roof on. We took the whole stucco off of that envelope of the building at Sandtown and went over the whole exterior. So it's been major, major investment in that facility. I mean, it wasn't a bad, it needed a cosmetic facelift.
Thank you.
It has some for 20 and 30 years and you don't put anything in, you know, it's just time.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I'm looking forward to the grand opening. Do we have any, does anyone else? Oh, does anyone else have any questions or anything? Mr. Ternard, is there anything else you want to present or are you done?
No, I'm done, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for this platform. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. And Mr. Swanson, it was good seeing you again as well. And anytime you want to come back and give us any type of updates, reach out and we'll certainly put you on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All righty. So I'm
thank
sorry.
you, Ms. Davis. I
Thank
said thank you,
you.
Ms. Davis.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Delphine, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So thank you, Debbie, and the Sandtown Community Association for allowing me this time to talk about Flavor Fitness. But I also want to say, Pat and Mr. Turner, I don't know if you dropped, but I know how excited you are about opening Sandtown. I think all of us are so excited because it's been too long. And I can't wait for the grand opening and also collaborating with both of you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so hi, everyone. I'm Delphine, for those who don't know me. I'm basically your community fitness motivator. That's what I want to call myself because I don't know if you've heard about flavored fitness, you know, on Nextdoor, on social media, in some of the meetings, but I'm the founder. And Debbie is allowing me, you know, a little time to tell you about upcoming events that we're hosting. So starting off with this Saturday, we're hosting the second annual fitness extravaganza, and this is for adults only. And so we're going to have different flavors of fitness. We're going to have yoga, we got step, line dance. We're going to do a bike ride through the neighborhood. We got tennis, a lot more. We also have some amazing vendors, and we're hoping that everybody come out. It's this Saturday, and it's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I'm hoping Debbie or Harvey, if you guys can like share my flyer, you know, with the community so they
I'm trying to pull it up now.
get more information. Okay. I think the one that you're about to pull up is about the August 19th event. And this one is the fitness extravaganza for the youth only. Yeah, that's it.
See it? That's it. Okay.
So just to let you all know about this one, this is another back to school, but we're doing something a little bit different. I first want to thank Dr. Rao for donating book bags filled with school supplies. So we're going to be giving out book bags. And then we're also filling some of the bags with personal essential items, such as like hygiene products and some other items. We're giving fitness assessments. We're giving the self-defense class to our youth, as well as dance classes. We're giving free ices. There's going to be a food vendor there. I don't know if a lot of you heard about, it's called DAT, Fire Food Truck in the community. They're going to be out at the event. We're going to have entertainment. So the hours for this event is from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And again, I'm just super excited because if anybody knows me, they know my passion is to give back to the community. But if you want to learn more about the events that we're doing, and what Flavored Fitness is all about, you can go to our website. And I don't know if you can scroll down, Debbie.
Okay,
I think the website is on the flyer as well, but it's www.flavoredfitness.com.
There it is.
Yep.
At the very
So
bottom.
thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you. That should be a lot of fun. Let me stop. Let's see. Stop sharing. Thank you for that information. And Harvey can post your flyer on the website and you all can go to the website if you need to get the link and all of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, Miss Juanita, do you want to share anything about the sewer expansion?
Good afternoon. I almost feel guilty talking about sewage expansion behind all this wonderful.
Go right ahead. And once you finish then, Ms. Warren, you're on the line. We'll get the school update from you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Juanita, myself and a team of young ladies in the neighborhood, Jendaya and Antoinette, have been working together on sewage expansion on 10 of our streets. And we've been so successful. I was really surprised to know how welcome people would be to transfer from septic to sewage. A couple of people, I know that Deborah and you and Mr. Harvey have been working in the community for decades. I feel your pain now, okay? I appreciate all the years of work you've done. It is not easy, but I thank you and appreciate the work you have done. Truly, I do now, okay? Catherine, our city councilman, Catherine, you've been wonderful. I think I have worried her to death, but she is so wonderful. And I'm hoping to see her again in November and she can help us complete all these projects I have on the table for her. The project I've been working on is a Fulton County project. It is not the city of South Fulton project. And it's a project that I reached out to Catherine and she routed me to the direction of Fulton County and they were able to get the ball rolling. So it is not a city of South Fulton project. Our leadership team from Fulton County were not able to be here tonight. It was a previous engagement, but I just wanted to share with you all the good news that we are going forward with the sewage project. The signatures have come in, well, we've exceeded our goal and we're ready to go. The town hall meeting that Alberto hosted in February 2nd, he also did a meet at my house at March 2nd. He did a virtual meeting July 6th, and he's been on the phone with me every day. This project is actually a $20 million project, and we want to make sure that we take advantage of this opportunity to upgrade our sewage system, okay? The residents are excited, and we have 10 streets that's on the list to be upgraded. It's Boat Rock, Benford Place, Bruce Place, Elva, Easton, Dove, Farley, Summers Landing, part of New Hope, only a small part of New Hope, and part of Camilton. And I really, I'm passionate about it. After speaking with the residents, I'm even more passionate about it. These are the residents, legacy residents that have been here for a long time in this neighborhood. And they have been one that, like yourself, Ms. Deborah and Harvard, that has loved and nurtured this neighborhood and made it the wonderful neighborhood that it is that caused people to want to come here and build $1 million estates. So now it's time for us to reap the harvest, okay? So we want the same amenities. We want the same amenities as the subdivisions have. We welcome them, and we would like to have the same amenities. We would like to have, you know, lights on the street, no trucks coming down our road, natural grass and sewage. It's just, you know, just like the subdivision that we have here. So we want to make sure that we, the ones that have laid the foundation for what we have now, that we be able to reap the harvest as well. Those of you who are not familiar with septic, septic is a system that is in ground and it's in each yard and each house on these streets. What we're trying to do is not have your toilet waste to go into the ground and have it go into the sewage like it does in all the subdivisions around us. So we want to make sure we buy in on that. But that's about all I have to say. I'm excited about it. Matt, any questions?
I have
Any question?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, why is it that seems like every time there is a capital improvement or whatever, Vanderbilt Road gets left out?
You're not left out, Miss. You might need to follow up with someone else because I understand that you all had a project before I did.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about it, and I would think that I probably not here about as long as anybody, ever since 1975.
They were,
When
well, I actually
you
know
mentioned
for
the
a fact.
streets, you did not mention Vanderbilt. That's why I brought it up.
No, they're not miss you, Miss Denison. If you would,
except on this, around here, and I have to get out the road, walk in the grass, almost in the ditch area, to keep from being hit. And it's most of these female drivers that just will not share the road.
Ms. Denson.
I'm almost 80 years old, and I try to walk, but it's very difficult with no sidewalk. But back to the sewage thing, I'm only mentioning it because when you list the streets, I did not hear you mention Vanderbilt.
It's not on this particular application, but when we first started this project, we were informed that residents on Van Diver were interested in moving forward with going on sewer. And I think it only required like 6 or 7 signatures. The hard work of Marbury and their team, I think they had to do at least 72 signatures.
Matt, well, yeah, at least 2, but it was almost 200 houses.
Yes, so this is a big undertaking. So maybe it's just circling back, because
So,
I do
Catherine?
not want us to miss this money that's currently available. And so I'm ecstatic that we got this done.
And thank you for your support, Catherine. You've been absolutely wonderful.
To get Vanderbilt included in this.
I can't agree with you, but I'll be glad to help you with your project when I finish mine. But I understood that Vanderbilt had already started before we even got started.
Yes.
Well, I don't know anything about it.
Well, I sure don't.
Well, Ms. Denson, we're getting close to putting a button on this in terms of the part that the residents have to do. Maybe if that's something you're interested in, we can have a virtual call with the people on your street. They can understand the process, because it's a short street. It should be easy. That's 1 street compared to 10. So I don't think it's hard to do. And I would be willing to help you in any way that I can as well.
Okay, I think I usually get emails from you. I guess your contact information, so I'll remember to send you, my inquiries and ask for instructions.
And I'll put my phone number in the chat. I just knew you had it, Ms. Denson, but I will make sure you have it.
I don't do the chat, so I'd have to get it some other kind of way.
I'll get it to you. We'll get it to you, Ivory. We'll get you Catherine's, Council Morale's information.
Thank you.
All righty. Are there any other questions for Ms. Marbury? Well, thank you very much for the update.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Warren, thank you. Ms. Warren, are you on the line?
I am, guys. I hate that I missed y'all last month, so I'm glad to be back today.
Absolutely. Welcome back. Hope you had a good vacation.
I did. Thank y'all for letting me go to Belize. I hate that I had to miss the meeting, but I need a little bit of a break. Yes, ma'am. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really quick. Right now, we had our first millage hearing for Fulton County Schools. We anticipate to roll our millage back. Right now, our millage, I'm going to tell you what it is right now and what we are proposing it to be. It will not roll back a full millage. And let me tell you one of the reasons that we have this, that we're being very cautious as we roll it back. One of the things that we've done, this is my 3rd year on the board, but we know how hard it is to increase your millage. And so every year that I've been on the board, we have rolled it back a little bit. And so this year, I'm looking at our sheet right now, it is 17.24. We anticipating to rolling it back to at least 17.14. And so that's important. On next Thursday, we will have our 2nd millage hearing, which will be in North County. Our first one was in South County. And then we will vote at the end of that meeting. So that's important for residents to know. We are in back to school season, and I actually just got back from being at Westlake, Langston Hughes, Stonewall Tail, and another school today. And open houses have been packed. Of course, we are looking at, we redistricted and verified residencies at Westlake High School. Residents will be glad to know that over the summer, we additionally kept extra staff at Westlake, particularly to make sure that we were not enrolling kids who were supposed to be in other schools. And so as we come into this new school year, Westlake's going to sit at about 2,100 kids. Langston Hughes sits at about 2,000 kids. But we are opening another school, a smaller school called the Promise Academy on Main Street. It is in downtown College Park. Any student can go there. It is a school that is designed for students who want to get the 4-year experience. However, they will get certification. So we have welding, we have cybersecurity. So that school will open up next year. And of course, we also still have global impact. I'm trying to think, this upcoming year, I talked about this the last time I was on a call. We have a couple of things that are new. One of the things that we have been really paying attention to is this idea of students and devices. And so every device from grade 6 through 12 in Fulton County, actually 3 through 12, is paid for. So we have 1-to-1. This year, we're going back to pen and paper because we know pen and paper is more effective for our, especially our elementary age babies, and for our middle school. Middle school will still have, all schools will have classroom sets, but our elementary babies will not take computers home. It is just a lot of information for them, and research has shown us that we need more time as we teach them how to write, teach them how to read, that they can, their dependency on technology sometimes is not positive for them. In middle school, they will have classroom sets, and then they will be able to check them out. But one of the things that we found was there was a large loss and damage of our laptops. And so we want to make sure as we yield taxpayers money, that we have accountability for those. In addition to that, school is starting on Monday, August 7th at 7:40 in the morning with our elementary schools. We want to encourage all men, actually all community members, if you want to come and cheer our students on, A. Philip Randolph, Sandtown Middle School, Westlake High School, to come and give our babies some love. I'm trying to think of something else because I don't want to keep you guys too long. We have our next board meeting next Thursday. So I'll have a little bit more information, but this summer we've really been trying to work within our budget, getting our budget passed, and then also our millage rate. So that has been something that's really been high on our list. So I know we don't have long. Does anybody have any questions and or concerns?
I have a concern.
Yes, ma'am.
The school buses. It's bad enough that the cars, Vanderbilt is a very short street, about a half a mile. It's bad enough that the cars and trucks speed, but it's totally unacceptable for these school buses. They pass by my house, and I'm about in the middle of the street, middle of the, and they are far exceeding the speed limit. So, and even to the point that it's difficult to even try to get the bus number. But if I'm able to do that, to whom do I report it?
Send it to me and I'll send it to our director of transportation. That's an easy fix, and we can pull their tape and verify through that way. So it won't be, and we can handle that bus driver accordingly.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions of Ms. Warren? Well, thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Warren. We hope you have a fabulous school year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I want to tell everybody, please, if you can, please come out. A. Philip Randolph, Sandtown, Westlake, welcome our students. Open houses were packed. It was great to see all the people. We're excited about the new school year.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful,
Yes,
wonderful. All righty, y'all, we're getting close, and I want to get to our council members, but I have 2 development updates. Number 1, the Starbucks, they are pushing to open mid-September. Number 2, Chipotle is pushing to open in December. And with that, Councilman Rao, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. I always laugh when it gets to me. I said, by the time we go through the agenda, all my updates are pretty much covered by the departments, but it's fine. Again, a lot of exciting things going on. If you've also been down Riverside Drive, Lennar Home, it's actually started. It's pre-prep work on its site, which those are single family homes. That's coming on the backside of Publix. I guess they were, you know, their project was approved fairly recently and changed from industrial zoning, if you remember. One of the concerns we had that was too close to the residential area, too close to the park, too close to us for it to be industrial. So that's underway. In terms of back to school, today I was excited to welcome our students back, to get them sent off to another school year with school supplies. We had huge participation at Sandtown Middle School as well as A. Phil Randolph. I think thus far we gave about 350 book bags away between the two giveaways today. That was also in partnership with Goshe Hawkins. It was one of her give backs to the community. And so we appreciate her for that support. In addition, if you're not aware, on tomorrow, the Healing Community Center, which is at 3915 Cascade Road in the Promenade Park Office Building, is having a health fair from 10 to 3. I'll be out there. So if you get an opportunity, stop by. If you don't know, we have tons of medical providers that are now in that building. So if you're looking for, you know, any kind of health services, stop by. In addition, Grady's Outpatient Center opened up on Monday. And so that is another resource that's available in our community. It's on the out parcel in front of Kroger. And so, again, we've heard you, more medical resources are now available in our city. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. Mostly everything else, I think you pretty much covered through the various updates. Again, I can't reiterate it enough. I'm excited about opening of the rec center. I've heard from a number of HOAs, they're ready to resume their in-person meetings, so they need that space as well. So we're just looking forward to an awesome, amazing fall in 2024. So that's
wonderful, wonderful. I'm excited too. I didn't know if Councilwoman Gums, is she on the line?
No, she is doing a movie screening on the environmental piece today at the Southwest Edge Center. It started at 6:30, so she is not joining us today.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm excited about stuff coming out of the ground. And
yes.
It seems like there is a lot. The sidewalks on Danforth, they're moving right along. And so I'm excited. So are there any other questions from anyone else on the call? We are at 8:03.
Oh, I will say that we did have a couple of traffic updates now I think about. Heatherland and Heatherwood, we have a 3-way intersection going on there, and they're about ready to bring in a culvert in Loch Lomond. I don't know if anybody in the call is from Loch Lomond, but those supplies should be arriving. So the biggest part of that is coming. So just wanted to give you that heads up. If you see equipment in that area, don't be alarmed. That's the actual install of the culvert in Loch Lomond.
Oh, okay. All righty. Well, Harvey has put a lot of information and contact information in the chat. So hopefully you all saw that. And with that, it is 8:04. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I hope we gave you some valuable information. Did I hear someone say something?
Hey, Debbie, this is Donald.
Okay, go ahead.
I just have a quick question for Dr. Rao. And she may not have an answer for this, but Dr. Rao, with all the new structures coming to the Publix area, have there been any consideration of extending a sidewalk from Westlake High School down to Publix?
Actually, I have started advocating for trying to get some money for that very purpose. So connectivity is a big thing for me. If you looked at our last T-Splosh, I've focused on trying to get everything connected to the Sandtown sidewalks. So we have money to cover in this T-Splosh, Cascade sidewalks, the ones you see coming down Danforth, then New Hope. And then hopefully we'll come around Boat Rock and Reynolds and come back into so we need to do this whole area. We just have to, you know, there are some that are on the T-Splosh list. Other ones will be trying to put in the general fund as well as applying for grants through GDOT. So
so would that sidewalk from Westlake be on the T-Splosh already, or?
It is not. So we have to no, it's not. We have to allocate additional funds for that. But me and Councilwoman Gums have talked about this. It is a priority. As well as you talked about the increased traffic. If you notice along Hamilton Ride, as these projects are coming online, you can see the road is being widened.
Right, yes.
So you got decel lanes, you have what's coming online at Hamilton and Stonewall Tail where the traffic light will go. You also see it's widening there. So we do envision that that is going to be happening as these projects come online. And so, yeah,
So
we definitely want a walkable community.
So with the traffic, with the streets widening because of all the new businesses coming, crossing Hamilton Road for the students coming from Westlake, have we considered, or will we consider something like a bridge over or something, or some measure? The traffic is horrible.
Yes. Yes, we already have discussed that. So there is a 20-year transportation plan that the city did about a couple years ago, and we planned with all of the cities. If you don't know, College Park has a bridge that's being constructed.
Yep, that's it.
So that's the first one. So good. Get all the kinks out there and figure that out. But yeah, we have talked about the need to do bridges across Camp Creek. I mean, that's what would be safe. We, you know.
Right,
people,
right.
Yeah.
And if at all possible, and I know you're doing everything you can, and I appreciate you for all that you do. I would like to see it more of a priority than some of the other locations, because it will be actually highly used more so than walking down Boat Rock, as an example. So just my 2 cents. I just wanted to know, have we thought about that?
Yeah, we definitely have. I think if you ever get the chance to look at the South Fulton transportation plan, and you can go look out there, it's an entire website. It lists all the transportation projects for, you know, all of these cities. And when you see them in their totality, you see that there has been a considerable amount of planning around this. Again, it's all about money and how it flows. So as those projects come online, it'll be dependent how the cities pursue, you know, outside funding. Do they put it in their general fund? But we're all moving in the same direction in terms of improving connectivity to making these communities walkable. And of course, you know, anything that's built new is required to have sidewalks in our city. No longer will we allow a developer to do that. So those standards are now in place that were not previously in place.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Well, all righty, y'all. If we don't have any other questions, comments, it is 8:09. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And if you have any other questions, you can send me an email or reach out to Harvey, and we'll get answers for you. And with that, we will see you next month in September. You all have a great week and a great month, and we'll see you in September. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Absolutely. Good night.